Hey guys, welcome back to Life Homestead. Today, as promised, we're going to do a salsa canning video. I think we're going to break this into parts because I think it'll be easier. So this is not the only way to do salsa, obviously, but this is the way we do it. We follow a recipe that my Aunt Sue gave us years and years ago. So I hope she's watching and she can get a kick out of that. But first thing we're going to do is we got all these tomatoes, so we have to peel these things. So I've got a pot of boiling water here, and then I've got this bowl of cold water to put the tomatoes in. So what I'll do is once this water gets to boiling, I'll cut the core out here, and the core, if you don't know, is this top part up here. So you peel the stem that's left off there, and then you take your little knife and you just cut around. I don't know if you guys see, I'll try to do it backwards, make cut my finger off. But you just kind of can't do it backwards, I'm sorry. Cut it in there. Sometimes you gotta take your finger and you just pull that core out. Maybe a discard bucket somewhere. And you'll put that into the boiling water. In this water, important, 90 seconds. You'll see this peeling start busting around here. And once that busts around, you know it's ready to pull out. These Roma tomatoes, there's not much core to those. So I'm just going to try to cut the very end of them off as I start to peel them. So this one here is a Parker's Whopper, and it was just ripe. We've got plenty to eat, so I'm going to put it in there as well. So we'll do like I said, we'll do the tomatoes first. We'll core those and get them peeled. We need 3.5 quarts. This is 1 quart here, so I will process them, fill them up, put them in there, and we'll go from there. So I'm probably going to do more working than talking, so you guys just watch along. You just fill this up. You're going to do most of the aromas because I haven't cored any besides that one. I like to get about as many as you can handle dealing with in there. That one got a bad spot, so we're going to skip it. 90 seconds. It's 1.5 minutes. While you're waiting, you can core some of these other tomatoes. I like to use a little bit of knife to do this. And you just cut the top around the center. And you just pull that out. You guys can see it's got a lot of green stuff in there. And that stuff's really hard, so you don't want that in there. Kind of roll these around a little bit. I got these big bell peppers at the garden of Kroger. I didn't have enough peppers ripe, and I wanted a lot of color in there. So we got this yellow one. We got an orange one. This is actually an orange tomato that I grew. We'll throw that in there too. And that is 90 seconds. So you turn this one off. Make sure you don't burn the baby. Put my strainer over a bowl, and then I can reuse that hot water. You don't have to wait for another pot to heat up. Okay guys, I threw this in a towel so Tiffany wouldn't kill me. I'm not dripping all over the floor, but I don't know if you guys can see that, but so what I've done was I took these out of the boiling water that were in there for 90 seconds, and then I put them in cold ice water. It kind of blanches them, I guess, but anyways, what happens is this skin will just peel off. So you just peel the skin off, and then you throw this tomato, cut it in chunks, and throw it in the food processor. You don't have to get all the skin, but you want to get as much of it as you can. Let me get over here where you guys can see me cut one of these. I haven't done one of these Romas like this, but I'm just going to try to cut the top off. Yeah, and it just peels right off. And these Romas are so small that you don't have to chunk them up or nothing, and they've got a lot of meat. They don't have a lot of seeds like a lot of these tomatoes, so we'll be rocking and rolling. So just cut the top off. Do that top. Just peel it on around, and then peel this off, and you're just left with the tomato. You don't want to put too many in there because you run out of room. But I put, about half full I lost the lid. I always just put this on pulse. We lost the little thing that goes in here, so I'm gonna pop it like that. Don't put your fingers in there. And this kind of depends on how you like your salsa. I like mine really chunky, so I don't pulverize them up too much, just a little bit. And remember, they're going to cook down a little bit too. I probably should have plugged it first, but I don't. So, for you guys that don't know, I'm a safety guy where I work. So, all you guys that have finally found the videos and are watching from work, do as I say, not as I do at home. About a half. Just back together. Grab a handful of your aromas out of here. This one's already peeling, so I'm just going to peel this off. And on these aromas, I'm telling you, there's not enough core here to worry about. But you do have to get them started somehow, so if it's not started on its own, then you can go ahead and cut the head off of it. You can take these tomato skins and make tomato paste out of them if you want to, but I do not. These aromas are easy. They're a lot easier than a normal tomato, but it takes a bunch of them. Luckily, I have a bunch of them. If you really want to go fast, you can keep this water boiling the whole time. But it's been a year since I've done this, so I'm a little out of practice. So again, when the water starts to boil, it'll just be a repeat. I'll throw the tomatoes in there for 90 seconds, put them in the strainer, get the water out of them, recycle the water, put the tomatoes from the strainer into the ice water till they start cracking. Once they start cracking, I'll pour them, peel them, food processor. When we get to 3.5 quarts, we'll put them in the pot, start heating that up, and then we'll move on to the peppers. All right, step 2 is the peppers. Like I said, most of my peppers weren't ready in time, so the small amounts I've been gathering, I've been freezing. So I bought these from the Kroger garden, and I need 2 cups of these, so we'll chop these up. Just try to avoid the seeds best you can. A little bit of meat on there. And you can chop these down however you want. I get these pithy parts out. I said pithy, not pith. What you people worry about me over here cussing? I said pithy. But I just get them down into bigger chunks. They go in the food processor as well. I just kind of cut these in half, and you can avoid all the seeds. But as these are from the Kroger garden, not a lot of seeds in there. We've about genetically modified all those out there. Last one, red one. You can kind of feel with your knife, you can feel where that seed head is in there. Just kind of cut around it. Cut around the middle, and you just pop the top off with a little twist. All the seeds come out. Just cut this thing around in half and quarter it again. And in she goes. I bet that's 2 cups. I always forget to put this thing in there, so I always had to struggle to get it down in there. Actually, that's not going to work. If that's the only mistake I'll make today, we'll be alright. We just won't show you guys the other ones I make. However, it's only the one. That scare y'all? Look how pretty that is. That look good in the salsa.
Hold on, come back. Let me focus on you.
Trying not to pour it on the floor. We're going for 2 cups here. That's closer to 3. And this goes into the pot. All right, next on the list is going to be 5 cups of chopped onions. So I've got 2 onions, probably going to need 3. But I got some out in the bucket. All right, guys. I've already cut up the onions. We forgot to film that, but who hasn't seen cutting up an onion, right? I did put them in the food processor, and I think I got too many. So sad. These are jalapenos. I don't like anything hot, but I'm gonna put one in there just for good measure. I just cut these up, dice them up, toss them in there. I know you guys can't tell it, but there is a massive thunderstorm going on outside. It's full of seeds.
Eat a piece of it.
No. So sad. We've got the onion still. My goodness. No more than I put in here. There's not really enough to put in the food processor, so I just chop them up in little bitty chunks. All right. Next step is cilantro. If I can Tiffany swears I can take this strainer, put the little limbs through the little holes, and drag it out and leave nothing but the leaves. So we'll take a few of these here. We don't need many. It really stinks.
Cilantro?
It's,
It does smell.
ha! Like a little clear cut tree.
Wait, did it work?
I mean, check that out.
Didn't believe it.
That's the coolest thing I've ever seen. I mean, not ever, but it's pretty close. Recipe calls for like 2 tablespoons, but Tiffany loves cilantro, so we'll put like 4 cups of that in there.
2 tablespoons is not enough.
Can you see that, how it's leaving the leaves up there? They're all crammed in that hole. We'll just take them all. I probably wouldn't cut them up. I'll probably just throw them in their hole.
Isn't that good?
We'll put this back in the refrigerator and leave it there until we find it one day like this. Throw it away like everybody else. Don't act like y'all don't do that. It calls for 1 tablespoon of this canning salt. I put that in there for the recording. I thought about faking it, acting like I was doing it. What kind of guy is that? So also a 1/2 tablespoon of black pepper. Feeling kind of wild, I might put a full tablespoon in there. I don't know. Every now and then I act like I can eat spicy stuff, but I really can't. So I may stick with the 1/2 here. All right, so we got garlic, canning salt, pepper, cumin, 1 tablespoon of it. Tiffany loves this, so it probably means 2 of it as well. I like just 1 fine. We'll do 1 1/2. She likes it spicy.
That's not spicy though.
Well, I just mean not like hot spicy, but just like, wow, spicy. Okay.
Not bland.
Not bland, she says. All right, use citric acid, 1/4 tablespoon for pints, and 1/2 tablespoon for quarts. We gotta add that to each jar as we're canning, so we'll put that in while we're canning. It says, combine all the ingredients, except for the cilantro and cumin, in a large pot, bring to a boil, start to percolate. So we've already got our cilantro and cumin in there. So we're just going to boil her down like that, I guess. Too late at this point. So I know you guys can't see the pot, but it smells good. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to heat this up. Let this get to simmering. As it starts simmering, I'm going to gather my other stuff up, my canner, my jars, and all that good stuff, lids. Alrighty, the last step is to fill the jars with the salsa. Put them back in here. We got them in here heating up. Got the salsa simmering. I'll put a 1/4 teaspoon of the citric acid in there. So if you're going to water bath them, you've got to put the citric acid in there. So I'll add a 1/4 teaspoon per jar. So here we go. Grab a jar. It is hot. You just scoop it out and scoop it in. Only about an 1-inch head space in there. About 2 scoops will do. What happens if you get too much headspace in there is you'll start trying to bleed by. So that citric acid is just powder. You just drop it in. This here will kind of mix it up a little bit. This is usually used to get air pockets out. But in salsa, you're not going to have any air pockets. You'll have air pockets in things like green beans and stuff. Mix it up. Grab one of your lids. Slap it on there. Grab a ring. They don't have to be super tight, just one little quick twist on there. Set it back in the canner, which all these jars tipped over, so it's going to be a little bit of a chore to get these things back up. Pretty sure this is a jelly jar, but I was out of wide mouth, so you got to use what you got. It's going to be some pretty salsa. I wish I'd had one green bell pepper. We had some greens in there. It's still pretty. You don't really have to mix it up. I like to, but that stuff's boiling. It'll mix up plenty on its own, really. Put your lid on. My assistant gave me some jar turner overs. That's a technical term.
What are you doing, Alyssa?
We got one that's a big camera shy for whatever reason. You don't want to get too greedy because you don't want to overfill them. My lids, I think they came from Amazon. I'm sure that means they came from Taiwan or China or somewhere. But the way things are in the world with everybody blaming everything they possibly can on COVID, and I don't know what the deal is. I don't know if it's truly a shortage in materials, or everybody's staying home and canning and getting ready for the end, or what the deal is. But it is hard to find any type of canning supplies. You can also put the citric acid in there in the bottom, and you ain't got to worry about putting that little stirrer in there. Isn't that pretty?
Can't wait to try it.
Okay guys, so we've got the recipe attached if you guys want to follow the same recipe that we used. We let this thing boil for 20 minutes, and that's the water bath style. So we put the water an inch above the jars, let it boil for 20 minutes. Then after that was done, we let it cool. After it's cooled, we pulled those things out of there, let the lids pop, wrote sauce on the top, and put them in the pantry. One last thing, I want to give a shout out to my Aunt Sue who shared this recipe with us. It's a really good one, guys. I do recommend you guys trying it out. Thanks for watching.